I realized we just went into loading. Yeah.
All the CV setup is the same.
So double Hiryu Saipan seems to just be the cookie cutter. Nobody wants to bring a Kaga,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
which is a shame. But I guess everyone just realized how valuable air control is with the fighters. What battleship did they bring this time? Did they stick with their Duke of York? They did. So they stuck with their Duke of York. Okay.
And no one use
So tell your guy to move next to you, stop, and then get ready to torp, okay? And what could possibly go wrong with two DDs trying to kill each other perfectly to get the spectator system working? Especially since I can't see my movement controls. Okay. Right, so starting off, Old School Crew is going to... looks like they're turning to head towards the islands. They're going north and grouping up northwise.
same here, I think. Yeah.
And it's also fighters first for Old School Crew. Is that what Aki's doing? Are they going fighters first?
Yeah.
Oops. we didn't kill each other off. We're flooding, so it's enough. We'll die. Cool. Okay, so we're up. Oh, he missed! He shot him! He shot him at point blank range and missed him. Oh, no. Okay, so did you die? Or did you kill Rumov?
I did, but the other one didn't. I missed.
Well, so he will flood out though, right?
Yeah, it's flooding. Okay.
Okay, good. Right, anyway, moving on. Let's check this out. So we have our fighter line kind of approaching. Both teams kind of measuring each other out. Interesting, Fumel Upa going for the north, but in the inner island line. That's interesting. So they're kind of doing what they did first time around, where they get close, they use their AA on the island side. Sexy Croat is moving his Hiryu up into the island as well. The issue is the Nai's now... No, he can't see the saipan, so they're hugging the island, and the island just makes it so that you have to fly all the way around and to drop from the reverse side. So both of our guys... Is the... Oh, there you go. Okay. Took his time, but good job. Okay, so... looks like Upa is beaching himself. It means he can only be attacked from realistically one side effectively, and that's from the far west, and the Duke's in the way, and the Hiryu's in the way. The Saipan's AA with AFT is 4.2 kilometers on its mid-range AA, because the Saipan doesn't have long-range AA, so this is going to be interesting how this plays out. The fire jewels in the center, we see that Old School Crew is kind of balanced at the moment. Oh wait, nope. There's an exiting out. I think Aki's slightly outperforming on this lone fighter here on their cap. This one's kind of losing slightly, and that one's also... you know what? It's kind of balanced, actually. Where is Croat going?
They want to stop at this kind of port line.
Yeah, but look at Sexy Croat. You might not be able to see him, but he's about to go around the corner where the Duke of York is. The Balk in his Gneisenau is miles away. Like, what? Oh dear, he's gonna get dropped by so many. I don't understand. He's got a stray fire coming in, but Sexy Croat is like, the whole skies are full of bombers and they all descend upon you, Croat. And if that wasn't enough, the battleship Duke of York is right there. I don't understand the game plan here. Maybe it was to push up and have AA on the center. He's surviving. All the bombers are dropping immediately. Oh, but there's another set of torpedo bombers. The damage control parry will mean he will not bleed or flood out, but he might just die from alpha damage. And if not that, the Duke of York... Oh my god, more torps. Oh, dear goodness. What was that from Sexy Croat? He just says, hold my beer, guys, I got this. And just YOLO'd straight into the enemy battleship.
But why is going this direction here even before Gneisenau?
I don't understand. I don't know why the Gneisenau wasn't first. Slow down, let the Gneisenau catch up, let him go first, and that's it. Something went wrong-ish there. Yeah. I don't know. So the thing is, the Gneisenau is still pushing on the Duke of York. The Gneisenau has torps, has powerful AA. Its AA bubble is inside the enemy ships. Okay, the Aki's AA group, they're all relatively close by. They've all got AA, but the fact is, the Gneisenau is by himself. He needs full air cover. So, for example, there is a Hiryu and Saipan fighter way off on the eastern flank of the Hiryu. That doesn't need to be there. Everything needs to be on the Gneisenau to protect him. And he may actually use the dead carcass of his buddy to protect him from at least one torp.
Yeah.
Which he does, but he's still taking 2 torp hits. The Duke of York is correctly running away because he knows Gneisenau has torps. I don't want to fight in this brawling situation. I'll back off because he knows his carriers can support. Because the more the Gneisenau pushes in, the more enemy AA bubbles he's going to go into. And the other interesting thing is that the carriers from Akizuki's AA party, they can push up into the enemy capture because they know where the Gneisenau is, and they can harass Neb-Oja by moving their AA bubble over Neb-Oja and then attacking him. But for now, it's just attack the Gneisenau with everything you've got. Not the greatest drop. No, I think he's dodged those. Yeah. And the fighters from the Saipan, from Old School Crew, they are trying to help. Okay, now torps coming from the other direction. Gneisenau is trying to get to the island to cover. He's going to take 3 torps here, crippled. And the Duke of York is just going to finish him off here.
I think this... Oh.
Desperation torps from the Gneisenau on the Duke of York. Nothing else to do. Here comes the dive bombers. Boom, that's Gneisenau down. No battleship. The Duke of York can turn around and go after him. And this is game. There's no way that Old School Crew is going to come back from this currently.
No, I don't think so.
They don't have the air control. They have the strike potential. It's still early days. But the thing is, they would need to kill off the Duke, which has proved to be very resilient at its mid-tier AA, or they'd have to go after one of these carriers, which are all together with extra AA, and kill them off. If anything, Neb-Oja is getting dropped slightly from a distance. He's picking speed up. If he hard rights, he can dodge it. He should be okay. Yep. But all that's doing is pushing him into the sphere of influence of the enemy carriers. He's getting much closer. Does his own drop? No, that's a Saipan drop, but it's double panicked. He might... No, I think Meal should be able to turn left. No, he should be able to dodge. He'll take 1 in the center because he's slowing down, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, another set of torpedo bombers incoming from another Hiryu. 3 planes, 2 planes. That's a drop. That will have at least 1 connect. Yep, may not have been a flooding.
But still 2 more, 3 more.
I mean, the best he can aim for is maybe getting some form of... Oh yeah, so that's a Saipan strafe. More bombers coming from behind. He's going at full speed, but the first ones aren't going to connect, but that's going to be at least 1 torp, this one here. Maybe the second one? 1 torp. He's on fire. His damage con's gone. Now the secondaries are going to start coming into play from the double Hiryus. The Saipan realizes he has nothing to play for here. He doesn't need to get that close. And the secondaries from the Hiryus will finish him off. We also see that the Duke of York is pushing up, and the Saipan's running around the corner, so the Duke of York is out of play for the time being, but there's not much you can do. And Old School Crew is playing this out. They could GG this, but they're just going to play it out for our amusement.
They still want to try.
Yeah, the thing is, he's going to... Well, I guess a fire from secondaries. Saipan torpedo bombers as well. Does this finish the Hiryu off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him gone. So now the Hiryus can move up. The number of planes are reduced, and it's only the Saipan. Saipan doesn't have secondaries. He's only got the bomb waves he has. Oh, and there's an enemy Saipan drop on the hostile Old School Crew Saipan. And that is him down. Burner Flood. And that's game. Wow. That's one of our quickest games. Okay, so I guess we rotate teams. And then we see whether or not Old School Crew can bring it back. I mean, they kind of threw the game away there, so let's see what can happen.
But the Saipan in Old School is quite good. It took down like 63 planes.
Oh, I didn't check that.
Yeah, 63 for Saipan. And Hayu 31.
Wow, yeah, so...
3, yeah.
Well, they were on their constant bombing attack and they were doing lots of strafing, but the fact is, Aki could afford to be that aggressive because they had the kill advantage, so they're expending all the reserves. What the plane kills doesn't show is, if you lose a ship, it'd be interesting to see how many planes, because when Croat died, he had 31 plane kills when he died, right? But whoever sunk him got something like 60 plane kills in his hangar, if that makes sense. You know, so you've taken that many planes off the board. Alright, ready up your destroyer. I'm ready up and we can go.
But they didn't swap the...
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good.
See if our French caster can wake up. There we go. And here we go for round number 2. So as soon as this game ends, the second semi-final starts. Or that's the way it should be anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go. Assuming Aki's ready. Well, you don't ready up if you're not ready, so yeah. So same again. Let's see if we can be a little bit more clean with our DDTKs.
Yeah, I just dropped two torpedoes last time. This time I'll try more.
And both teams keeping the same setup in terms of, I don't see why Aki would change. Now they got the Duke of York and the OSC keeping the knives now. Nobody swapped out a player, same players. Okay, we will see how this goes, right? So one thing that was mentioned, or I wanted to mention, is that in World of Warships there are no symmetrical maps. There are no perfectly competitive symmetrical maps, other than there is one map, Ocean, right? That is, you know, that has no features, so of course it's symmetrical. And there's, I think it's Riposte, or no, you know what, I forget the name of it, but there is a custom ranked battle map that is symmetrical. That was in one of the last ranked battle seasons. That's lots of islands, very little waterways, and I didn't want to play that. So the reason we're playing Okinawa, it seems like a fun map. There's lots of open spaces, there's some islands, and the reason we're doing best of threes is so that both teams gets to play north and south. Because in King of the Sea, we don't get to see teams playing the same map from north and south. You have map picks and spawn picks. We don't see playing the same map from both sides, so there's no perceived advantage. And then the tiebreaker, only if required, is for well, if it goes through. Cool. Wow, he survived. Oh, I must have damage saturated him. He's got different sides. He's going to flood out though. Cool. Right, so let's check this out. Fighters first again for old school, and I'm guessing that's the same for Aki.
Okay.
And they're kind of lining up. The torpedo, yeah, so they've got their planes up. They're looking to jostle each other. Well done on your mutual suicide. And here we go. We're into our cleared game.
Okay, yeah. So what's the situation now? Okay. They again go behind the island.
Yeah, they're looking to duel. Oh, diving straight from Aki. Oh, I didn't update the score. Nuts. Aki's 1-0 up. Sorry. Apologies for that. I forgot to do that. Hold on. This is me being. Ooh. There we go. Done. Okay, so it's 1-0 to Aki's AA part at the moment. They're looking to book themselves a spot in the finals. Good strafing by Aki there down on the south, that taking down the enemy fighter, and the other Hiryu fighters clip down to 2 planes, and the Saipan fighter moving this Hiryu down to 3. So right now the Aki's aggressive fighter control very on top form, I can say. So they have air control. The planes need to be cycled by old school crew before they can move up. Now we see both teams are repeating the same process as the last time. The old school crew is moving up to the island north. Their Saipan slightly behind because he's playing catch up, but they're going to use the southern island group and go in for defense and cover. But this time round in the north, it's the Duke of York that's the first ship that's going to moving into the North Islands, although he's not actually doing it yet because the battleship's getting a couple of shots in on the Gneisenau. In terms of airs at the moment, neither team really pushing into each other's at the moment. But the thing is, if they keep this up, their AA bubbles are going to start collecting into each other. Well, okay, so we see the Saipan's fighters from Aki in the north, from old school crew, they see that. Their bombers basically spot each other. There's fires coming in the south. So, you know, Aki's basically trying to approach from multiple directions, trying to stretch the fire planes out. But there's no kind of escorting. Doesn't look like they can get in close at the moment. The Crow Power Saipan player for old school crew, he needs to catch up. He's well behind, so he is the kind of the weak link at the moment, but he's got his own planes to kind of protect himself, so he's fine in that respect. The Gneisenau firing AP shots, yep, getting some hits on Neil, and then also taking another, maybe getting one hit on the Hiryu from
I think
Pigeon.
They go inside the mountains, islands, and
so Sexy Croat taking the lead again, but this time he knows, oh, but check this out, he's taken the lead, but look, the Duke of York from FM6, he's doubled around. He was going to go there, but they're doubling back, so I think they realize that the carrier is so far up front, maybe he can turn, but the thing is, the Gneisenau is close. I don't know if you want to push into that with the potential torping, but Croat could be vulnerable here. And in terms of other planes, the bombers from the Aki are in the north, they're spotted, they're in the bunch of bombers from old school crew. He's got fighters chasing after them though, so it looks like old school should be fine. We see the Duke of York going through the corner, but he has to go around and around, and Croat is hiding in the corner as best he can, so the Gneisenau should be able to stop the Duke of York. Plus the Duke of York is leaving the AA bubble of his friendly carrier, so maybe this isn't the best play here from FM6. We'll see.
I think they try to hide between islands to avoid the torpedoes.
Okay. A lot of bombers from Aki hovering over their cap zone, looking to strike, but 4 fighter planes against the 2 of old school against Aki, so they have air control in this particular area. Old school's also sending their bombers, however, on the north side. The Duke of York peels away and goes back north. He realizes he probably can't fight. There's a Gneisenau that's there, but if he goes wide, and this is interesting, if the Duke of York pulls back, heads east. And we see this, if the Duke of York heads further out, he might be able to get long shots on the Hiryu without getting closer, just by going further away. Trading with the Gneisenau, the Duke of York.
Yeah.
The bombers, okay, we've got bombers incoming on the west and also the southwest against Aki, and there's no fighters here. All the fighters are kind of jostling in the south over Sexy Croat. And Sexy Croat's AA here is going to be, wow, that's a really good strafe by the Saipan on the 2 Hiryu fighters. I think the Saipan fighters, he's realized what's happening. Pigeon is vulnerable. Okay, all 4 fighters are coming in a panic across. So they get a fire on Gneisenau, but they realize the 4 fighters incoming. If they spread their bombers out, maybe they can get like a panic drop. Just with like 1 or 2 torps both ways. Okay, so that's 1 torp. Maybe another 4. Oh, it didn't activate. Does this one going to activate? It does. Oh, Pigeon is critical. Old school. He's dead. He can't escape. No, he's dead. Pigeon's gone. That is a good work there by old school.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, he survives with low health. Okay, so that's him down. Now the thing is, the Duke of York has peeled back around. He didn't have his AA with the rest of his ships. It looked like he tried to go off and hit Sexy Croat. Sexy Croat took damage, he's down to health. We see bombers coming in from one of the Hiryus. Maybe they're auto drops. Maybe he set auto drop. These might be Pigeons ones set auto drop. Croat is low. But the problem is that the Gneisenau and the Hiryu and the other Hiryu from Nedja all have triple AA bubbles. So old school crew knows what they need to do. They need to defend Croat. And, oh, that's an extremely good Hiryu strafe, killing off the incoming bombers. Probably those were auto drops by the the CV that died there from Pigeon. 2 torpedo bombers. They can actually drop into Croat from the reverse side, but there's a Saipan fighter coming in. He'll probably strafe this. Oh, there's no strafe. Why is he actually going to get a torp off? 2 torps. 1 torp's going to clip his tail. If that's a flooding... Oh, it hits!
Oh, yeah.
If he's got a flooding, that might kill him off. He's killed the engine. Oh, and the second torp is actually going to go all the way and hit the Gneisenau.
I think
That's unintentional, but it hit. Croat also takes a dive bomber and he's on fire now. I think he's going to burn out. So it was really good that they killed off one of the carriers. And I think the Gneisenau survived because he's healing. But Croat doesn't have a damage control party. He's going to burn out. Oh, and this basically balances the lineup again. Both teams losing at Hiryu. But the Duke of York of the enemy team has far more health than the Gneisenau. Oh, Croat's fire goes out. How much health can you see Sexy Croat right now?
219.
Wow. But that's like 1 dive bomber. They need to play so defensive the whole time. And the Duke of York probably will gamble, come round the corner and take a shot at him. Croat is really pinned in. But there's bombers going after the Duke of York. Saipan from Croat Power doing a long range shot, probably because he sees the Saipan fires coming in. That's good work. Forces the Duke of York to turn in. I think the Bauk Gneisenau can't allow this Duke of York to come round, because if he comes round, the Duke of York's taking a hit, but he's going to come around the corner, and you know what he's looking at. He's looking at Croat. He's going to shoot him. 1 shell and he's gone. Oh, but the CVs, they know it. Good drops. Oh, the torps are not activating though. Oh, where's the Gneisenau going? Why is he torping? Where's Bauk going? They just left Croat to die. If the Gneisenau stayed there with all those CVs dropping, he might have been able to punish that and kill the Duke of York off. What? Okay. Alright. Yeah, okay. So Saipan and Hiryu from Miel and Full Metal Upar, they're relatively high health. They still have reasonable planes. The Duke of York is pushing them more aggressively. Now Bauk's turning around. You know that the Duke of York probably had fires. He probably had damage control party. But Bauk, he doesn't have all these guns on target, and he's exposing broadside. He's lucky he didn't take torps. Or sorry, citadels from AP shots. Okay, so that was Saipan torps on the Duke of York. Oh wow, he might actually get the second wave off and get a proper hit. Yes, he gets all the torps off. So he dodges 1, but he'll take 2 torps. He might even take all 3 because he's going full speed. Ooh! Yes, now the Gneisenau can finish him off. In comes the other Hiryu torpedo bomber. Oh, the Duke of York's going to take. That's it. Flooding from the Saipan. That is huge. It puts Old School Crew in the lead. It looks like they're going to tie the game 1-1. The Gneisenau has enough health that he might survive. All 3 ships are inside each other's AA bubbles. Saipan gets a torp drop off. If the Gneisenau now... No, the Gneisenau's not going quick enough. It looks like he's going to take a torp on the nose. Ooh, but the fire probably expired naturally. Oh, but second set of torps. Oh, no.
Yeah.
The Gneisenau goes down. We're tied. 404 for each. 1 Saipan each, 1 Hiryu each. Wow, okay. Who's got the most planes? Because right now it looks to me that Old School Crew has more planes. They've got
I think so too.
4 fighter waves in the air, and they have at least a full set of bombers as well. Well, Neboja needs to reverse and needs to start moving up with his Saipan buddy. They're equal on points. So if this game goes to a tie, so hypothetically speaking, the points remain the same and it goes to a tie, because Akizuki party is 1-0 up and it remains a tie, no one scores a point at a tie, it means that Akizuki would go to the finals and Old School Crew would go to the 3rd place game. But is it really going to come down to that? I don't think so. There's too many bombers left around. They're looking for an angle. The islands kind of create a natural barrier, but they're not that close. And what does Aki's AA party do here? They're looking to not die at the moment. I don't see any of their planes.
They don't have any fighters on
Miel is vulnerable. He's reversing and he's not covered. So the Saipan's going to try and give AA support, but they would go for... Yeah, the dive bombing Miel, that's 1. He's on fires. Incoming multiple angle torpedo bombers. The Saipan ones are going to get a killing blow here from the flank. Miel stops though, but I don't think he can accelerate quick enough. Oh, okay, so that's it. So yeah, so Old School Crew establishing their dominance. getting the kill, taking the point lead again, and now they just need to kill the Saipan. Saipan from old Akizuki's AA party doesn't have secondaries, only has AA, only has the bombers that he currently got. These dive bombers are basically loitering because they weren't set to auto attack, and this is game now. So we're going to our tiebreaker for our first semi-finals. And I think he's just kind of rushing up. Even a ram is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's torps and things, but the thing is, Crow Power, Saipan, Ram, even then the secondary duel, there's no way that this Saipan comes out as a victor. Yeah, best he can do is just the Ram off and that's it, kiss me. And there you go. Old School Crew bringing it back and tying the game 1-1, and we're off to Ocean for our tiebreaker. And I will update the scores. So, in terms of plane kills, yeah, we can see the difference there. The Saipan from Crow Power, he got 63 plane kills compared to the Saipan of Aki, who only got 49. Nice, I got 39. Duke of War got 36, relatively close. Hiryu from 6, Croak 27. Hiryu other one from Meal 35. And then Naboja 16 and Pigeon got 25. But that doesn't tell the full story because they were able to kill off Pigeon early on. So that's like a whole 70 odd planes that are just out of the equation right there. Right, let's go straight into this then. I'm guessing the Croats need to change the map mode because it's not ready.
Okay. Yeah, standard. Yeah.
There we go. Standard battle. 20 men, no cycling. Good luck.
But don't you think it will be more fun if the cyclone?
No! Like, I'm making it really simple, okay? I don't want any external factors. So the reason why we're playing an asymmetrical map such as Okinawa is that both teams play north and south, so both teams get the chance to play any perceived strength. And then Ocean is just a straight up mirrored match, no advantages, play it. So you don't want random things like cyclones or other stuff running into it. I can remember playing a tactic in King of the Sea with Omni, and then I guarantee you 3 of our games in the tournament or something were Cyclone. As soon as the Cyclone happens, you just throw the rule book into the, in the bin, because everything goes crazy when that happens. You've got a game plan, you've got a strategy, you know how you play it, and you have a sort of you gamble. Is there going to be a Cyclone? Well, no, because the ships that you take with a Cyclone are completely wrong with the ships you take without a Cyclone. So it's so chaotic and messy. And it's also very difficult to look at. Now, would a Cyclone game be hilarious? Yes, but let's not do that because that's bad. So
okay, yeah.
So we're just trying to keep it not pure competitive, but no RNG, just nice and clean. And that's probably why Wargaming gave us the option to have games without Cyclone, because nobody enjoys it. It's good from a caster's point of view and maybe from a streamer's point of view, but from the players, nobody wants those external factors coming in and ruining your game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. All right, let's go.
Okay, let's start.
Come on. Start, please. Whip. I want to get this on the boat. There we go. Thank you. Right. Should have the correct scoreboards all in line.
They stick with the same setup.
Both teams sticking with the same setup, so Neisner versus Duke of York.
Oh, it's a long way to go.
Oh, the thing's broken again, but you don't have to worry too much about this. Yeah. Both teams playing double Hiryu, one Saipan, and wow, we are really far away from our fellow destroyers, aren't we? So again, if you guys are just catching up with this, all the CV spots are taken. We can't use the CV to commit suicide. It's probably quite a lot to ask for the enemy battleship to kill off both the destroyers or cruisers. There's no spectator spots in standard battle, so the best solution we came up with is double tier 2 destroyers with very, very quick torpedo reload, going next to each other and killing each other off. And that way we can spectate the game as quickly as possible. Okay, here we are again on Ocean. And looks like the old school crew are grouping up on the north side of the cap rather than going down the west. Where's the initial kind of ship movement for Akizuki's AA party?
I think towards west. Or yeah.
So they're sailing along the south border, heading west?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like so. At least the Duke of York is going to west.
Okay, it looks like, well, so that they're going to be quite far apart then, the two teams, because the other team's heading north along the north border towards the east.
Yeah.
And they're making their the sort of AA line at the moment. You see how they're distributing the planes, controlling, this is our space and that's your space, making a long line.
Wait, they turned up towards.
Okay, well maybe they're just trying to group up their ships first.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that there's the first couple of engagements over there, and they're kind of being circled around, so there's a larger concave and convex forming. Hey, did it properly. All right, cool. So now we see that there's an imaginary line form, but that's actually not happening. Oh wow, this aggressive strafing by the Saipan, but he misses the Hiryu. The Hiryu could actually counter strafe, but he doesn't. He just click engages, and the Hiryu beats the Saipan with a click engage. So the Saipan immediately exit strafes, realizing he won't win that click fight. The Hiryu's following him with a counter strafe from behind. Wow, Aki's AA party, that's much better fire control. Saipan reverse strafes onto that Hiryu, clips one plane. And that's it, but he's still down 4. Now they're double teamed. Here comes the Hiryu. He'll exit strafe. Hiryu fire comes in, but he exit strafes with one fire, and he follows with this one. But is it catching him from behind? It is. So he gets a friendly fire, a little bit friendly. He clicks on this guy. It looks like old school crew isn't quite getting the fighter control. It's a good strafe there, but he'll lose the plane. So it looks like the Akizuki's AA party is the team that works better together with the fighter planes. And the big difference between this map and Okinawa is there's no central island that both teams can rush up to and hide behind so the battleships can't shoot them. So it's very hard to use your friendly AA bubble, which is probably how old school crew got such an advantage last game, by using the AA bubble they had and having the ships so close to each other. So we see now, so old crew sees the composition of Akizuki's AA party. Akizuki's really tightly packed together with the Duke of York on the front line. Probably too far. Oh, that's a lot of bombers incoming. Now they know they just won the fighter duel quite convincingly. So the issue is, what can Aki do? There's 2.5 fighter waves left over for the old school crew. All they want to do is strafe the enemy bombers. They've clipped one torpedo wave is taken down. Looks like Sexy Croat's the most isolated. Yep, they're going to go after Croat. And here comes a Saipan 2 torpedo bomber wave, 4 dive bomber waves. He's taking hits. Yeah, he's going to take torps as well. He's immediately damage conned, and he's going to take maybe half health. But there's a follow-up Hiryu wave that's still not being dealt with. Hiryu's chasing after it. Now the issue is, what did they just spend there? Like, Aki dropped the Sexy Croats Hiryu. They took half his health off. What did they lose? Well, they lost all their protective fighters and they lost basically all their entire strike, but they got health for it. So does that mean that because by paying for half of Sexy Croat's health, Old School Crew is able to catch up on the total number of fighters the team has?
I think so, yeah.
Possibly it does, yeah. And then, but it means now that see, there's still kind of half bombing waves here for Old School Crew. So the issue is, are they going to recycle their bombers, or are they going to try and push out and make an attack of their own? Because both teams are really separated and far apart here, to the point where the battleships can't really interfere with each other. So there'll probably be another fighter duel in the center, and then after the fighter duel, they'll maybe do like a counter drop. Whoever wins the fighter duel can then push out and try and torpedo bomb. But with ships so close together, I don't see how you can get any meaningful damage, because if everyone just focus fires enemy torpedo bombers, they just melt.
We don't have any side of the ships from...
Well, everything is recycling, I would imagine, on the Aki side. I mean, the Old School sees all of Aki, and they're wondering how to attack. I mean, they're grouping up their planes. The range between the Duke of York is 25 kilometers away. Both teams are, both blobs are 25 kilometers away, so they're not going to be able to get that close. You'd think the Gneisenau, like our first game that we covered with Task Group 16 on the deciding match, they pushed up with the Gneisenau. The three carriers stayed relatively close behind. They kept their fighter planes on top of the Gneisenau, preventing it from being bombed, and they used the AA bubble of the maximum AA range Gneisenau to push up and corner the enemy team of Wargaming Pay to Win. So the question here is, will teams do that, or will they not? We see Pigeon is actually moving. He's the closest ship now. Maybe he's going to slow down and stop. The Duke of York isn't the closest. Is Akizuki part going to move up? And then the question is, why would you move up? With 15 minutes, or sorry, 13 and a half minutes left in the game, maybe just play defensive. We can see how much of a defensive line that Old School Crew is playing. They've got all their 6 fighter waves out and a sort of kind of crescent protecting their little bubble just outside their AA. Like if I go to this fighter... Oh, no, that's not the fighter plane. Hold on. Good aggressive strafe there by Aki. The AA bubble is 6, yes, so the 7.2 from the Gneisenau. So the fighter planes, if you're going to duel, you might as well duel slightly further back, right? There's no point dueling at this line. You might as well duel at that line to get the friendly AA. And it means you're choosing to engage the Akizuki A party, and the AA parties, they're doing better. They're beating the fighters of Old School Crew. Their fighter control as a team at the moment looks better. And if you lose your fighters this close in, but not with an AA, you're in this awkward zone, because it means that the enemy team bombers can come in before you get your planes ready. If you fighter duel way down in the south, then it takes a long time for the bombers to move up and attack. So, anyway, as it stands, looks like Old School Crew is they've pulled back their last 2 fighters. They're playing ultra defensive, and we see the bombers maybe coming in from Aki, looking to approach, and just fighters over the capture point. So maybe what we'll see is Akizuki moving to the capture point of Old School Crew slowly.
They don't want to push.
Oh, they don't want to push. Well, why would they? Because if they just play smart, they're slowly bleeding them dry of planes, aren't they? So if they just play this with a couple more fight waves, because you get 2.5 waves at tier 7. So if you've lost all your fighters twice, then you're down to your last sets. Oh, okay. Is Meal being punished here? Oh, I realised I do not have... I'm not at his team, so I can't actually snap onto him. That is 20 kilometer shots from the enemy Gneisenau.
We can't see anything. Only 2 fighters.
Well, the thing is, the Old School is playing ultra defensive. They've got their 6 fighters. They're now inside friendly AA bubble. They've got all their bombers on the eastern flank waiting for an opportunity to strike, and they're just playing defensive. Now, I don't know what that's going to do, because we see that the group from Aki is moving together fairly well, and they are much closer to the enemy capture point than Old School is. So Old School it doesn't want to go out on the map, and the thing is, Old School realizes, right, we're down on fighters. They are playing better than us in fighters, so we're going to play defensively in our Nornea bubble. So the pace of the game, because it's ocean, has definitely slowed compared to the first two games.
Mm-hmm. Is this map bigger than that one?
I honestly can't tell. I forgot. It's a big map. I don't think it. No, I think Okinawa is a huge map, but the actual play area is somewhat small.
Yeah, because of the islands. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, still a defensive screen here. Old Screw playing more passive, more defensive, and Aki looking for the opportunity to bite and move in. Croat in the center, so he's the most protected ship at the moment. And at the moment, it's going to be a draw. Oh my goodness, what did I do when it's a draw? I think I flip a coin. When it's 1-1 and it's a draw in ocean, I can't honestly remember. No, I think it's fighter planes. I actually wrote this down in the rules. Let me check my rules here. For
the first one win the game win.
I'm gonna check my exact detailed
they
rules.
Start pushing towards the base.
I highly doubt it getting to the draw. I don't think it will come to that. I think they'll push into the cap and install the cap even for a split second.
Yeah. They start full speed.
Oh, they're going full speed? Okay.
Yeah, towards the base.
If a draw occurs, if a tiebreaker ends in a draw, the winning team is decided by most enemy planes killed. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And in the event that the number of plane kills is the same, then I flip a coin. It's that simple.
Okay.
So yeah, their moving speed. And you're right here. Akizuki, they've got the better positioning, although their meal is broadsiding into Duke or bumping into him. But yeah, they are moving their 4 ships in a position to get into the cap, and they're actually quite close to the cap. All they need to do is stall it for a few seconds. They don't need to stay in the cap. They just need to stall it, then back off. And that means that Old School crew needs to push either into the enemy cap or go for a kill. So this is kind of positional gameplay here right now. Naizenau is trying to AP the... Oh, I think he's trying to hit Meal. A bit far behind. Yep, doesn't really hit him. Could have. Didn't. Jukiort responding on the Naizenau, getting a little bit of HE damage on him. Sexy Croat is actually... I feel he's too close. And we see that the defensive line has shifted. So it was kind of this way, and then the whole thing is kind of shifted around, and now the effective control of airspace has moved. Now Old School crew controls the east side of the map, and Akizuki AA party controls the west side of the map. And we see all 4 ships are almost into the capture now. Naizenau only has 3 turrets. He can't shoot all of them systematically. The sight on the Akizuki ships may come and go, and it means that the fighter planes have to play slightly more aggressively here. And it just takes 1 tick of going into the cap zone that gives Akizuki's AA party advantage.
It's in.
And that's it. That's all it took. So now Akizuki A party's in the lead. They don't need to stay in the cap. As I say, they can leave and they can just wait the game clock out for 7 minutes, and then that's it. At a certain point, teams are going to have to properly go at each other. We see Old School Crew's Saipan torpedo bombers trying to be attacked by the enemy Saipan and Hiryu mixture fighter group, and actually he's coming in for a strafe. We might be able to escape. Yep, so the Saipan backs off his bombers. We've got the Hiryu bombers over on their enemy cap. We go in this engagement, the Saipan actually loses this fight engagement, which is the best thing this guy can do. He can exit strafe on the enemy Saipan, which is what he's doing. Clips a bunch of planes. That's good for him.
I think they need to really.
They need to push.
Be more aggressive now.
Yeah, Old School crew needs to be more aggressive. They got bombers coming in now because they got no other choices, and this is kind of pity. But there is one Hiryu fighter that can intercept. There's another Hiryu fighter from Old School crew that's going south, not to try and protect the bombers. But with all this combined AA, I don't know what meaningful damage they'll get. Naizenau is taking shots on Meal, but not really getting any connections. 6 turrets, not getting the right hits at long range. Strafe damage and AA kills off the Hiryu torpedo bomber waves. Saipan gets 1 torp off, but they're beyond the halfway point. Now there's other dive bombers from the Hiryu coming in Strafed, strafed. 3 left over. Gets a dive bomb on Full Metal Upa, gets a partial reset to push them back to other halfway, but there's a counter bombing going on now. Now all the dive bomb are coming off. We've got a double torpedo bomb wave come Hiryu, but he's going to be strafed by enemy Hiryu torps. Yep, so that stops all the bombers, but it pushes the Gneisenau away. His front turrets, sorry, can't see the enemy ships, so he's not firing at them. So he's been pushed away, and that's enough. You know, you're not going for the cap. And it's getting to the point now that even if they do leave the cap, Aki can almost afford to take a ship loss now as well. And they may even now leave the cap. They may feel, you know... Yeah. Mil's taking a... Nope. Very long range, 20-kilometer shots, not really properly connecting. So it's a standoff battle, but position-wise, Aki had the better fire control. They get the better positioning because of it, and they're able to move up because of the sight. You know, the defensive team's playing defensive, isn't going in a particular direction, so now they're capping. And you know what? I don't think they meant to leave the cap. I don't think Professional or Pigeon in his Hiryu meant to leave, so he's reversing. But they've still got, you know, pushing up 3/4. Enemy Saipans from Crow Power has moved up into the enemy base, full speed. If they can get resets, so resets are the issue here. Can they tap? Can they get resets? They're down to the last 25% of the cap. Unless they can reset the Duke of York, Meal, and Full Metal Upa, I don't even see how this is going to happen. All these bombers are now moving in, and the enemy team, Aki, just needs to play defensive with the fires, and they've got this. Oh, and we're almost very close to a hit, so the Gneisenau needs to connect here. He does. Oh, that's a very good hit on the Saipan. He resets to 25%. They need to hit the Duke of York and Meal. I mean, the Saipan could be killed off, but they need to reset the 2 ships. So now the Gneisenau has to hit Duke of York or Meal. Saipan torpedo bombers are coming in a Meal. They're uncontested. There are no fighters on them. He might actually get a reset here. That's a really long range drop though. There was no fighters though. I think, oh, Meal is reversing. So Upa takes a hit. That resets slightly, but that's not the thing. Meal and the Duke of York are the 2 ships that have got the caps. If the Saipan from Croatian Power didn't drop from maximum range, I think he would have been able to hit Meal, and the torps would have connected, and they wouldn't have lost this game.
I think that's it.
Ah, bummer. So Akizuki takes it 2-0 with a base capture, with the action coming down to the last, you know, 2 minutes there when teams are forced to fight. Okay, so Aki wins 2-1, and we are going to hop out and now find the next semi-final. So according to this schedule, the whole